Hey fam, I just wanted to come on here and talk about how important it is for us to shed the fake self. I know that I put out a video a couple weeks ago, a week ago, about the ego. And actually, the ego is what holds us back from being our magical, mystical self and manifesting things in this life. Hey, S. Wiseman. Glad to see you. And it is highly critical that we recognize what the ego is. And I'm going to describe to you now that pretty much it is what has been created in us. You notice that a lot of other people in other countries, they too they are people of the ego, basically. I'm not saying the Africans are people of color, because people of color all over this planet have been under control and have been given an ego, which we don't need egos because we have the soul. And people have to know the difference between an ego and the soul. And if you don't recognize the soul, how are you going to recognize an ego? How are you going to recognize the ego if you don't recognize the soul? But that's what I'm here for, to guide you to your higher self, the soul. And I've been trying to hone that in to our people. And maybe I haven't done a good message at doing that. But it's very critical and it's very important for us to look at these little things. The littlest things make the biggest difference, because we have so much subliminal messages that are out here distracting us and making us and creating our minds more into this monster mind, into something that we are not. It's taking us further and further. These subliminal messages are taking us further and further from our true selves. And hey, I'm Antonio Booker. And it's critical that we realize we have a true self. And there's a voice. It's not the devil, it's not angel, it's not devil and the God, the good and the bad. No, it's not that. Because the good and evil resides in all of us. But it's in a balanced state. When it's in a balanced state, it is part of your natural mechanism of survival. It's not this created mechanism of survival. We got to realize the world around us is fictitious. It's fake. It's fictional. It's an illusion. It's a make tricks. They have to make tricks because they don't have magic. Magic is in our melanin. That's why we are who we are. And we have people that would ask, why do they hate us so much? You have to sit and analyze what you have and look at their society and look at them. And then examine yourself and know yourself and know your ancestors. And the answers will be right in front of you before long. But it's very, very critical that we know the difference between the fake self, which is the ego, because you weren't born with an attitude. You weren't born with the personality that you're supposed to have, that they created within you, that you have now. The words, you weren't born to have these words. You weren't born to cuss out people, to say these words. You weren't born into this world to be such a monster. We weren't born to be this. We were manifested in this existence. And I listen to Lisa Cabrera, and I like her videos because she goes along with when she talks about the society that we live in, she's pointing out to you how fakeness, being in a fake world, causes a fatal collision, a destruction, an imbalance. And she breaks it down. She breaks all of that down. And I was listening to her this morning, and she was talking about how they felt like a drug, something that's not natural, that's put together out of an imbalanced manner that can harm the body. A drug makes them feel like they're in love.
Mommy, help me for this.
I can't right now, baby.
Help me.
Okay. Hold on. But if you got to take a drug to feel like you're in love, and I'm going to break down feeling like you're in love, because a lot of our be-lacking men, brothers out here, think that this is real, and they will end up marrying these women, these females, because I don't consider them women, these females out here who need a drug to feel in love. And what did I say, brothers and sisters, what love was? Love is simply giving. If you can't give, which they can't give, obviously they can't give. They cannot give, they can only take. And our brothers are in a state, our be-lacking brothers are in a state where they don't know themselves. Is it their fault? No, I don't blame them. I don't blame them for going along with the fictitious fake world that we live in. I don't blame them for that, because I'm in that. We're in that. But it takes a lot for us to see true self. And shout out to one of the brothers that commented on my page on that last video about the ego. The ego will not manifest anything for us, and that's very critical that we hone in on that. The ego will not get us anything. The white man is not going to give us anything because he's not love. He takes a drug for him to be in love. And when it takes a drug for him to be in love, it takes a drug that kills to be in love, to make him feel like he's in love. And love is giving. If you're not in love, then you're never going to be in love. You know you're not in love when you say you need a drug to feel in love. But we're always love. We were manifested out of love. And it's very critical that you all understand that we need to work on getting rid of our ego, the fake self. I'm working on getting rid of my ego. I don't want it. It's not who I am. I think all my life I've walked in a line to away from the ego, because I know that it's no good. I've seen it in my friends growing up, how they develop their ego. And I said, I don't want to be like that, because we get it from each other in the environment. We build from that. When we're out on the streets and we telling another brother, one brother's telling another brother, don't come up my block. That's the ego that feels like they have to control things. Eligio is working from an Eligio, Nature Boy is working from an ego. He may be agent. He may be CIA, because he deals with a lot of Caucasoids. And he brings Caucasoids women into the camp. And he's controlling. He's a very controlling individual. I can see that you've had a life in foster care, a life of feeling like no one cares about you, a life of no family togetherness. But you take that ego to an extent where you destroy your community, you destroy black people. And destruction of black people, that's not love. That's not love. Love is giving. You give to your people. You want to do something big in your life to give and make opportunities for your people. That's love. That's the greatest love on the planet. It's making a way out of no way. It's showing that we all have the ability to do these things. We all have the power to be the Christ within us. We are the Christ. No, the ego is what you want to kill. Well, the soul is the higher self. The ego, it's hard for black men to break the ego. They always want to put the fictitious Caucasian woman in front of everything. Because she birthed the egos. And you can't let go of it because you think it's yourself. It's not yourself. When they talk about humble, that's what the higher self is. The ego is not going to teach you that. You cannot manifest anything with an ego. It's just not going to happen. Now, your higher self has confidence. That's different from the ego. The ego is this Trump fella, the Eligio fella, the Jim Jones fella. All the people who are in entertainment are led by the ego. Most of them, not all of them. Some of them are higher self, and you can see it, you can tell, because they're not all out here. They're with their true gifts. They're with their true gifts, and they're dealing with their true gifts, with the higher self, the voice. But then there are some people that don't deal with that. They deal with ego, the fictitious self. And I don't know how to tell you. The ego is your enemy. And the white man is so dumb that he's not going to keep doing this. He can't keep doing this because he's too dumb. So what did he have to do? He had to rely on the natural ability of creating ego. He had to make tricks for you to fall into. He had to make a trick for you to fall into because he does not have the magic. And what do? We fall into the matrix. The fake stuff. The fake self. It's easier and relaxing for y'all to go and find the ego than it is to, because the ego is the same thing over and over again. The same characteristics, same thing. It's nothing different. But your higher self makes you unique. I don't see why you want to be made and created like Frankenstein and have to have something fake put into you due to your environment and not be you, the true you. Everybody wants to be real. Being real is not an ego. And with that said, family, true love, real peace, and the higher self within. I hope that people can find the difference and go to their higher self and release themselves from the ego. Your higher self is who you're born to be, the love that your parents gave you, or even if it wasn't your parents, somebody gave you love. Somebody gave you a name and love. And always remember that. I just want you to be real with yourself. Until next time, peace.